Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast here on my YouTube channel. My name is Anaris, and today we're going to start covering some of those crazy games taking place on MLG weekend. This time we're going to feature a best of 3 match series featuring MMA, the Terran player spawning down in the bottom left against his Zerg opponent, none other than the man himself, JulyZerg, up here in the top right. Now we are going to be watching this match take place on Xel'Naga Caverns. This is a best of 3 series. I don't know what the other 2 maps are that are lined up, but this is from MLG weekend. You know, there's $14,000 in prizes. I think first place takes like $5,000 alone, so pretty awesome stuff. Looking forward to some great games here. Now let's actually review some player information. Start off with MMA down here. He is a player who is on Team Slayers. His real name is Moon Sung-won, 22-year-old player from South Korea. He's actually one of the 4 Koreans chosen for the MLG GSL exchange program. And as far as recent accomplishments, he did participate in the GTSL, and he also scored first place in the 2011 All-for-One Invitational. So pretty good showing here from MMA so far. Looking forward to a fantastic game from here. Now up here, the man who probably needs no introduction, but we'll give him one anyways, JulyZerg, one of the most famous StarCraft Brood War players, known to man and puppies alike around the world. His real name is Park Sung-joon. He is a 24-year-old player on the team Startail, and recent accomplishments for him, he actually scored second place in the March 2011 GSL tournament. Code S. Looks like we lost first place to MC. Sorry, I had a brain fart there for just a second. So looking forward to a very exciting matchup today. And we already see JulyZerg going ahead and dropping that expansion before the pool. Now, that's kind of a risky move on this map, I think. I don't like expanding like that when you've got 2 spawning positions. Because you see down here, sure enough, I think MMA has the right idea. This 2 racks build, which can transition into a fast expansion, is a very solid opener on this map. Again, any map that you've got those 2 spawning positions, TVZ, you really can put some early pressure with this type of play, and that's exactly what MMA is going to be doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes down, which you see actually, the Overlords. Oh man, does he actually see the Marine? Does he see it? Oh, he spotted it right there for just a second. Don't know if he actually saw it, though. Now he will for sure 100% see this SCV running around here, and we'll actually keep an eye on him because I think, yeah, he's got a second SCV up there as well. Kind of crazy shenanigans we got going down here. 2 drones transferring off, maybe hoping to pick off this SCV. Not going to happen, though. 1 Marine is already in place here. JulyZerg realizes that with the Marine there, he can obviously kite around and do some serious damage, especially with that other SCV and a couple other lurking around. So he's going to try to cut off the reinforcements. Don't think it's going to happen, though. You see 3 SCVs are here ready to tank for the Marines. Some nice micro there by MMA, almost getting surrounded. Oh, wow, one of those Marines, oh, so very close to death. But you see he is getting some serious drone kills right there. There's the first kill. I think even one of the SCVs has got a kill. Yep, sure enough, there we go. The first bunker is down, folks. This is going to be potentially very dangerous for JulyZerg, as you see MMA is trying to press forward with the second bunker, which manages to get right up on the creep, so very close. That's going to work out really well for him. I think that will indeed be in a firing range for the Marines. Now you see he does have 3 additional SCVs up here. Very good precautionary action there. Get a couple extra SCVs up. They're able to tank for the Zerglings, repair the bunker, keep building the bunker. In this case, you see this Queen is actually attacking the bunker and not the SCV. Look at that, still 45 hit points. And now JulyZerg coming in for the surround, hoping to pick off this bunker. Not going to happen, though. So he is forced to bring his Zerglings away from it and hopefully try to isolate those Marines from that second bunker. That's really his top priority right now, to try to see if he can intercept anything at this point and make this push less dangerous than it already is, or at least no more dangerous. Because right now you've got a bunker sitting right up here, taking out this hatchery oh so slowly, but still, nonetheless, this hatchery will fall if JulyZerg does not do anything about it. And here we go. Looks like he's going to get a couple Marine kills right here as he tries to run into the geyser. I guess that's one way to go. Oh, looks like he's running, trying to catch the SCVs out of position. He does actually get a good surround on the bottom bunker. It may go down. It is super close. 76, 50. He evacuates it and then repairs it, sells it rather. Boom, gets the money back and is able to continue pressing forward with his Marines intact. Still the same amount of firing power here on the northern portion of Xel'Naga Caverns, where I think this expansion might actually go down, folks. There's really nothing that JulyZerg has right now. We could just look at the units tab and see a couple Zerglings, and that's it. And there's the GG, giving his opponent MMA game number 1 on MLG weekend. All right, folks, that's going to be the game. Let's make sure to actually no, let's just make it. Let's make it one video. I'm going to try to do that. I don't know who wins the next one, but even if we have 3 games, we're just going to roll it all into one and keep going. All right, folks, stay tuned. Another game coming up. All right, folks, welcome back. We do have game number 2 of the exciting best-of-3 match series between JulyZerg of Team Startail down in the 6 o'clock position against his blue-tiered opponent, MMA, up here in the 12 on MLG Metalopolis. Now, we already know that MMA is currently up 1 game against JulyZerg, so he's going to be looking for that 2-0 shutout here on Metalopolis today. Now, let's actually look at the map for just a quick moment. Well, more specifically, let's talk about the points that make it different from its vanilla counterpart. Number 1, no close spawning positions. That means MMA knows his opponent is not going to be spawning down here in the 8 o'clock position. Likewise, Zerg does know that Terran is not going to be spawning right here, so we're not going to have any super close early game harassment from those positions. Of course, it's still entirely possible, but given where these players are actually spawning right now, I don't know if that'll actually be the case. Now we see, of course, MMA comes over here, realizes, okay, no Overlord, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume that he's spawning down here. So we can expect to see him adjust his build accordingly. That's the very nice thing about this, works out quite well for MMA, is that he can just run down here and scout without having to actually send an SCV down here, and he'll get a pretty good idea, not 100% guaranteed, but pretty good idea that his opponent is down here at the 6 o'clock. Now, I'm going to be curious to see how JulyZerg handles this game. Now, with these players spawning where they are, the key thing is going to be mobility. To that end, I'm going to expect that we're going to see that Zergling speed upgrade come very quickly. Of course, we do have JulyZerg going for that expansion right here. Again, this is after he scouted right here and realized his opponent is way up here in the 12 o'clock position. So he's probably not feeling that there's going to be quite as high of a risk of an early assault. Of course, he is parking his Overlord or sending it across the map right here to check out just in case. But yeah, the Zergling speed, I'm going to expect to see that really quickly. And also maybe some Hellion harassment here from MMA. I don't know. Of course, with this expansion going down super early, it will be a target for that kind of early pressure. So we'll actually have to just watch and see what exactly happens. As MMA is sending his scout over here right now, again, just to check and maybe see if he just got unlucky and didn't spot the Overlord. Nope, he sees that there is no Zerg player there indeed, so he is going to head down to the south position, where we see July is indeed going ahead with the extractor, the spawning pool. He's going to get that gas and get that metabolic boost upgrade and continue on into whatever the game calls for. Now, one thing I want to point out over here, MMA does have a tech lab and is going to be getting a Reaper here very shortly. Great unit here for early game harassment. I think this will lend itself very well to killing off some drones without too much difficulty. Also, scouting around, getting that early information. Now, the other key point I wanted to touch on, as we actually just want to point out real quick, MMA is going ahead and dropping that expansion, again realizing that he is in a pretty safe spot to do so. You know, JulyZerg really is not in a good position to be harassing at this point. So, good play all around from both of these guys here. Now, the second thing I want to touch base on real quick is the supply depot. A lot of people have been asking me, why is there a supply depot on some of the GSL maps at the bottom of the ramp for players that aren't Terran? And, oh, poor Zergling going to get taken out right there. Not even a hit on the Reaper. Well, the reason that is there is to prevent players who have the ability to wall off a Zerg early game from doing that and isolating their expansion from their main base, which makes it very, very difficult to regain that and deal with any sort of early cannon pushes. Now, you see this Reaper has already scored 2 kills here as he continues on to the expansion, getting very close to that Queen now. He will come up here and do some scouting, but 2 queens already in place. It kind of limits it. Oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. JulyZerg going for an early third. Dropped it around the 5-minute mark. Wow, super early, double expansion there. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here, man. We're going to have a great game. I have a feeling we're going to have just tons of units being flown around everywhere. Oh, man, it gives me the nerd chills. Nerd chills indeed. Yep, there's that Zergling speed upgrade coming into play right there. That is going to allow the Terran player to have a lot of, or the Zerg player to have a lot of mobility in dealing with these Reapers. You can see now number in 2. Bunker. Nice placement on that. Very, very much needed, as you saw. Was able to drive away those Zerglings. Nothing more than just really a glorified scouting party at this point. Now, looking at the income right now, we can see Zerg definitely has a slight advantage. He really doesn't have squat for gas coming in right now. Now he's starting to kick it up a little bit, but on the whole, that was taking a back seat for just a while. I mean, really, he didn't need it until he started building that Roach Warren. Roach is, of course, a very solid early defending unit. Great counter against those Reapers, which you see running around right now. He might just decide to get a couple Roaches and just kind of keep them sitting around for a little bit, and then wait and see how much the situation calls for as we do go later on into this point in the game. Oh, he starts attacking the Mink statue instead of the Marines. This could be a fantastic early play here by MMA, who is seeking to possibly take out this early third base. Definitely a good call there. You do not want to let that Zerg player have it. But look at that. All the Zerglings getting in the mineral line for the Terran player. Actually looks like he loses a couple of those. Not too many. But we could see the units lost right now. Terran's only lost 2, so not that huge of a loss compared to the Zerg player, who's lost 6. 26 Zerglings are currently en route in production tab. As we see, plenty are already on the field. JulyZerg realizing that he has to hold on to that structure. Oh, looks like he's going to get the flank attack there. Marines are completely surrounded. The Reapers do manage to escape, but for how long? You can see they're having to bounce back and forth, up and down, as the Marines actually might hold their own there. They're super close. You see the numbers have definitely dwindled. Certainly not enough remaining for a second attack. So MMA doing the right thing, pulling back here. As you see, he's actually focusing a good bit, actually, on the bio play. We see he's got 2 barracks, a third one right here, and a couple of Zerglings actually just coming here trying to do a little harassment. You saw he picked off a couple extra Marines right there. Nothing too huge, but yeah, anyway, it looks like he's going to be going with the bio play. He's got the medevacs already en route, and he is working on that stim pack upgrade. He already does have the upgrade, the combat shields. That's what I'm trying to talk about. I almost got out the Combat X upgrade. I'm like, what the hell is that? You do cheese your opponent and then beg for a win? I don't know. Oh, sick burn. But anyways, yeah, on to more important issues here. We do have the Zerg player actually going into Tier 2. Now, that's a pretty interesting thing. Did I just see... Oh, I did. Oh, I did. 2 dropships. Yeah, that's why I had those highlighted. I was wondering, maybe those 2 medevacs coming out, maybe we're going to see a drop. It looks like that is indeed what we will be witnessing here in just a moment or two. Now you see this JulyZerg does have his Zerglings hanging out in the main base, so that's going to afford him some very fast defense. Oh, look at that key Zergling. Spotted that medevac right there. Gave JulyZerg that information. You see he's actually moving now towards maybe this? I don't know. We got that medevac running over here as well. I guess he realizes that his opponent's forces are way out of position right now, so he's just going to go ahead and possibly move on. But there are 2 Reapers here ready to do some extra damage. Oh, taking out the Spine Crawler right here. Meanwhile, in the main base, we have 8 Marines, actually 7, doing stemmed up, and it's Zergling time. But plenty of Roaches are here to save the day, forcing the liftoff from MMA. And looking over here, we can see there's been some pretty heavy casualties, but nothing too serious, certainly nothing that JulyZerg can't handle, as the Marines are backed into the corner, and the drop is forced to run away. MMA trying to push them to drop over here, but the Roaches in a key position. Not too much difficulty dealing with this one. You see he's actually down to 1 Marine right now. As again, MMA with another drop over here. He is just back and forth action, trying to split up JulyZerg's attention while he continues to build up his own forces. You can watch the production tab and see everything that's been kind of going on here in the past couple minutes. He is certainly forcing JulyZerg to make a lot more Roaches and also a number of Banelings. That'll be super effective here. I've actually seen a couple games recently. One of them that actually cast, I think, where we did see Baneling landmines take full effect on a huge batch of Marines. I forgot who it was. I think it was Tarson. Yeah, Tarson was in the game, and he ended up losing like 20, 25 Marines to those things. Just, oh, it was a sight to be seen, folks. So maybe we're going to see some more of that here today as the Zerglings do get ready to move out. Looks like they're going to be heading maybe just to scout again. I don't see any major push from JulyZerg with just the forces he has running around in the middle of the map. But what I do want to point out is he is now moving out. You see, he does not actually have any upgrades for the evolution chamber for the roaches, but he does have the one melee attack upgrade for the Zerglings. So he will be able to do just a little bit extra. It looks like he's going to try to stop the Terran player from getting that third base. Will he be able to do it though? You see a bunch of Zerglings actually ran in here. Kind of, that was the wrong way to go, guys. Sorry about that. Hate to tell you. But that siege tank, actually that siege tank, did a decent bit of damage to the Marines as well. Roaches, of course, able to withstand a little bit more in the way of the Terran firepower. We'll actually see how this goes here. Plenty of Overlords. Oh, man. It's carpet baneling time. Will he be able to get into the Marines? Nice micro. Tons of explosions everywhere. Oh, the humanity of it all, or the complete lack thereof, as the Zerg continues to press forward into the natural. Will he be able to repair this bunker? It is super low right now. 10 hit points. It does go down. Will JulyZerg actually be able to push this through? I do not know. You can see he does have a nice stream of reinforcements here coming through, but all the SCVs are coming off the line, and with the medevacs in place and the siege tank here, plus the Marines, I think that the Terran player is going to be okay. See how a bunch of these SCVs are actually just sitting around right now while their friends are dying. Oh, that's not good. But MMA, choosing to get a couple Marauders, think that's a very excellent idea. Of course, Marauders do extra damage against the armored units. Oh, nice last-second pickup there by MMA. Saves a few units as JulyZerg hopes to clean up after that fight. MMA was successful in holding off the attack, sort of, down here, or from his... oh, thought I saw a drop down there. From his opponent, but not quite. He did suffer some pretty heavy economic damage there in the forest, in the way of reduced mining time. We can actually just see here, Terran is still down 61 to 28, so he lost a lot of workers in that. But we're going to see that actually spike up here as a result of the mules that were just dropped down. Look at that. We had 5 mules drop, so that's going to be so much money. And look, MMA actually may be going for the high yield. That is going to be a super risky move, because coincidentally at the same time we do have JulyZerg going for his own high yield expansion, but the Terran player knows about it. He knows what's going on, so we may actually see him put some more pressure on. I don't know. We have one dropship heading over here, and one Viking looks like he's just trying a little bit of harassment. Not too much, not too serious there. Again, watching the Zerglings just kind of run around, not do anything serious, but here we go, folks. MMA may knock out that Overlord. Biggest event of the game right here, folks. Will it go down? And yes, okay, now we're on to something bigger. We see Zerg actually spots that expansion. He knows what's going on now. MMA coming in here. Will he be able to take the Spine Crawler? I think he will. Not too much of a problem. You see, he's actually trying to focus down the Roaches now. Oh, leaves one at 28 hit points. Very, very close. But he was also able to defend his own expansion. That's one of the things I love watching. I love watching players like this play, because you see so much action going on at the same time in the map, and it's just crazy how they're able to handle everything. But you know what? As you get better at Starcraft, you just learn how to do it, and it becomes not that huge of a deal. So here we go, JulyZerg responding very quickly to that attack. Shouldn't have too much difficulty dealing with that. And now we see a number of Banelings morphed in as the Zerg player looks to possibly, okay, I was about to say maybe taking this out, but no, there's way too many Marines here. He was able to knock out a mule and a siege tank without losing any units himself, so I'd say that was a fairly successful harassment right there. Looking at the units lost tab, we can actually just see, look at that crazy stuff. 40 workers killed for JulyZerg compared to 10 of his opponent. And here we go, another drop, folks. Looks like in the natural, not going to be super effective, but this one, it looks like will be at least maybe able to take out something. I don't know. These two groups are split up here and way out in the open, so the Zerglings aren't having a huge problem getting that around, or getting this around on that. But it looks like it's just a diversion for the Terran player to come over here and take out the high yield expansion that is actually going to give him a nice little economic edge there. Sure, JulyZerg has this expansion right here, but you look and see the Terran player is definitely working on securing that right now up here at the high yield. It is a little interesting that he did not put the planetary fortress there, but I mean, he already had the command center up here from the top, so why not? Why not indeed? Let's actually get rid of that there. I'm kind of zoning out, watching the mini-map, and not even paying attention to the actual screen, but I'm sure plenty of you guys actually do that. So, let's see here. Got the Terran player coming out. Plenty of reinforcements, looking good there. All right, driving those mutas off. They're not going to be able to do a whole lot more at this point, considering the Terran player is now more or less focused entirely on guarding this high-yield expansion. You can see that's where he's keeping all of his forces right now. In the main, you see it's fairly vulnerable to mutalisk harassment, but look at this MMA coming over here with the Marines and a medevac, trying to take out this expansion. Not going to happen, though, as the mutas are going to mop up the medevac. Again, MMA with another drop down here at the main. You can see he's got a nice little group of Marines. Does the Zerg player know about it, though? I do not believe so. Oh, the Overlord should actually give him barely a vision of that, maybe that medevac. Will he take out the spawning pool? I don't know. He's got a good position here between the spawning pool and the extractor. He's not going to be taking quite as much damage, but no, he decides to lift off and head away so he can maybe divert the Zerg army down here and get him way out of the way so he can take out this expansion. Again, a nice distracting play by MMA. As JulyZerg, he's got this nice force. I mean, we could see 173 to 145, but he just can't be everywhere at once. You know, I do like the drops. They're really doing a good job keeping JulyZerg on his toes throughout this whole engagement here. And I'm really looking forward to what we're going to see next from the Terran player, as he is just continuing to do the drops, man. He's got another one heading out right now. And JulyZerg, he's still running on now 2 bases, technically. This one is just about mined out, so this one really doesn't count. Looks like we had an attempted muta harassment, but we see the fortifications here are starting to establish themselves as a couple turrets going down, looking pretty good there. Neither watchtower is actually being controlled by the Zerg player at the moment, so that's definitely not a good thing. So right now, I think really JulyZerg's plan at this point is just to try to establish a little bit of control over the outlying expansions and maybe secure himself some additional resources, which so far has proved to be pretty darn difficult for him. The Terran player has been content with letting him have the natural, but he has kept non-stop pressure on the outlying expansions for the entire game. And look at this response from JulyZerg, shifting all of his lings, his mutas up here, and actually the Terran player, oh man, look at that Terran player making some inroads here, down here towards the main. But Baneling time, folks. Oh, this is just so asking for it. Good thing he only sieged up a couple tanks. This means the rest of the Marines will be mobile enough to possibly get away. But JulyZerg is trying to catch up with them as fast as possible. I don't think it's going to happen, though. As you see, a lot of those Banelings actually just landed and ran away. But will this be enough? Will JulyZerg actually be able to push this long enough to take out the economy? You see all the Banelings are actually chasing the Marines. None of the Banelings are coming in here and taking out the SCVs. That is absolutely bonkers. He could save a couple SCVs for that, or a couple Banelings for that at least. The Marines, yes, obviously he has to drive those Marines away, but I don't know. The mutas were trying to focus down the turrets, and the economy, yes, while it was definitely hurt, definitely could have been hurt a lot worse than it actually was. Now, MMA here is able to, looks like, push back the mutas. And looking at the army size now, we could see, oh man, are you serious? Another drop was taking place here while that attack was going on. Absolutely insane. Like, seriously, look at this Vespene Geyser. We're 24 minutes into it, and it's still got 1,400, almost 1,500 gas in it. This one's got 568. Shenanigans, people. Crazy epic shenanigans. Alright, got another drop here from MMA. Will he be able to push this off? There's a few drones down here, but look at the income tab. We can actually see 47 to 41. So, Terran players obviously quickly recovered that gap that he had a little while ago. And look at the money right now. Look at that. 3,100 minerals to about 180, and the gas. Oh man, what a bottleneck there. But even the gas, he's got 800 of it. So, I don't know. You see, he's still got the Spire, but not for long. MMA with another drop here in the main base, taking out another key production facility as another successful drop takes place here. Man, this MMA guy, let me just tell you, he is all about the multi-pronged attacks, the diversionary tactics, just everything, man. Very entertaining player to watch. Let's see what MMA is going to do next here. JulyZerg really is running out of options. I mean, you see at this point, he is kind of not blindly expanding, but expanding without the force that you would really want to send. You don't generally expand to a place where you know there's a Marine already sitting there. He's had the one Zergling, and he knew probably wouldn't live. 2-3 Marines compared to 0-2 Zerglings. There we go, finishing that off. But look at the response, folks. I don't think that JulyZerg is really going to be able to stop this next attack. I mean, sure, he'll be able to maybe deal a decent bit of damage to it, but I don't know. I don't know. Terran is a pretty solid economy right now. Up here in this one base. I say solid because he's already mined out this right here. And you see that's walking around. Plus he has this base right here. And compared to his opponent, yeah, pretty solid economy. JulyZerg doesn't really have squat. You can actually see that in the income tab right now. Looking pretty good. Up on the harvester count there. As, like I said before, the high yield expansion is mined dry, so props to MMA for holding the high yield here without a planetary fortress. Just a couple turrets against some very aggressive plays. Saw a couple different attempts by JulyZerg to take that out. But at this point, yeah, like I said, JulyZerg is just trying so very hard to get an expansion. I don't know if he'll actually be able to hold it, though. You look at the size of the army running around. Terran keeping his money down at the bottom of the barrel. 169 to 139, so a definite advantage in the supply count. And we could have another drop down there. I don't know. You see a few Marines taking this out, so there's one drop. Here comes another one. As you see, Terran's moving out in the main here. Looks like he's actually going to be able to... okay, so that's not going to be super important. We can see what's going on there. Here comes the main forces. JulyZerg responding to it. Most of the Marines are actually saved, so the Zerglings running out of position, allowing the Terran player to run up here and get a little bit closer. You see, again, plenty of Marines. The mutas are over here. I mean, yes, again, JulyZerg definitely has mobility on his side, but there's so many Marines. And here we go, folks, what could be the final Baneling drop. I mean, look at the supply count. I just don't think it's going to go very well. The Terran player has such a better ability to recover. That's terrible grammar, I know, but you're just going to see him be able to pop out with an army that's bigger than JulyZerg's as a result of this attack, and therefore you have a GG. So that was very nice. We saw the steady decline of JulyZerg there throughout that whole game, and wow, that is really gross looking. You see that? Blech. Anyways, yeah, you saw just through the constant pressure, you saw the gap just was widened and widened and widened again until finally we saw that even though MMA definitely did not have a great economy, I mean, look, he just now was getting this expansion right here. This expansion was good, all right, so that's fine, but that's really all he was mining from. It was still better than JulyZerg's, who has expended a lot of resources trying to hold on to simply, I mean, what he has right now, and ended up even losing a lot of that. So, very nice play there by MMA. Very nice play by JulyZerg. Congratulations to MMA for winning the best of 3 series. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.